whenever you're ready. I love that night. I love that night.
What's your definition?
It's just something that exists and you feel it, or you're either open to it or you're not. And I think that's kind of where this record kind of came about just now, is because for a lot of my life I was either unwilling or too afraid or just hadn't learned enough or wasn't in the place to like really experience love in many of its forms. And now I feel more able to be open to that feeling, to express that feeling, and to sort of inhabit that feeling and sort of live in it without like freaking out, you know?
Right.
And then I can sit in it, and then I can sit at the piano and sit in that feeling and let that come out through the keys and in words, which is like, you know, and that's a pretty amazing gift. So I feel like it's important that people you know, do that thing that they loved when they were 5,
right,
or whatever age they were, or maybe they love it now. Like I have a website. It's mark-hildreth.com.
It'll be on here. Don't worry.
It'll be on. And yeah, we're doing. I mean, I'm working. Yeah, I am working at like really organically, just kind of, you know, putting it out there, and it's a lot of sort of word of mouth, and you know, I'm starting with the people that I know and moving out to, you know, to more and more people that I don't know.
It's interesting. I don't know if you've had this experience as well, but I know that for me, a lot of times my dreams seem so big that I feel like there needs to be a manual before I can even start. Like I need to have directions of how to do something before I even start to do them. Whereas I think I rob myself of the opportunity to do a lot of things that I really love and would want to do because I'm waiting for someone to give me the manual instead of writing it myself.
Right.
So when I see people like you, or when I see people like some of the other artists that I know that are just saying like, or like Kristen, or like other people that I know that are just saying, I'm gonna just do it myself. I'm just gonna try it. I find that to be so inspiring because really, honestly, if I sit down to think about it logically, it's kind of like, why not?
For sure. I think it's like, it's little steps. I feel like everybody has, you know, some dream somewhere, you know, whether it's buried or way down there or it's right on the surface or whatever. Everybody has like that sort of that dream. They're like, if only this could be so, and it's like, just take baby steps, you know. Don't go for, you know, the whole thing all at once. You have to like sort of earn your way into like making those things a reality. So instead of like leaping at, you know, I just want the record to be done, and I want it to be the greatest record ever.
And I want to be winning every Emmy possible. Yeah, Grammy. Sorry,
yeah.
Emmys, that's me.
Yeah. But it's like, no, it just took like little step, and it's funny, like, I notice how, not to get too metaphysical or whatever, but I have noticed on a number of occasions how when you do that, when you take little steps, you know, just what is your next step? Where am I going towards where I want to be? How like the universe sort of somehow conspires to like help you make that happen. And when you don't, when you like spend all your time just dreaming about it and not actually doing anything, then the universe kind of conspires to help you just do nothing.
Yeah.
Also, it's funny. I can't really explain it. I don't know if that's even so. I mean, I don't even know if that even really exists. But I have noticed a lot of like sort of funny coincidental things like, oh, that's interesting. If I hadn't done that and that, then this wouldn't have happened.
Right.
And it sort of like builds on itself. It's a funny thing.
It's meant to be, as people say, or something. Who knows?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it reminds me of the whole like rushing through the steps in order to get to the grand finale. Kind of reminds me of like when I was a kid, something my mom always used to say to me was like, you have your whole life to be an adult. Don't rush being a kid. It's almost like you have your whole career to have a big successful album. You have one time where it's your first time walking into the studio. You have one time where it's your first time writing your first album. You have one time where it's your first time sitting with the strings and playing it. So it's like to rush all of those things because you're so focused on finishing the album and being whatever it is that you think you're going to be ultimately in the end. You consequently miss a huge chunk of your life that you can never get back. You can never get back your first times.
Yeah.
And I think that this is something that I'm just starting to learn because for me, I'm always racing to the finish line. And it's like, but yeah, this is the only time I'm going to take step number 452 in that 600-meter dash.
Right.
So like, why not enjoy that step 452?
It's interesting, yeah, because like I think from what you were saying, where you're so focused on just the end goal that you're like, I'm just going to make this end goal happen at all costs, no matter what. it really, in my experience, like really compromises the quality and integrity of that thing.
Absolutely.
Whereas with this record, it's like I took every step joyfully, and the joyfulness and the experience that I had goes into the recording. It's there on the tape, and you can't necessarily write it out in bars or you know explain it in like musical terms, but whether you want to say that it's spiritual or energetic or whatever, you know, it's there because that was my experience. I can't really compare it to what the record might have been if I hadn't done that, if I'd just been like, I have to make the greatest record ever.
Right.
But I just went in and went, I want to have the greatest time in each moment that I have that opportunity to do that.
Well, it's those intangible, inexplicable things that are so beautiful about being human. I mean, that's love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been lovely. Check out markhildreth.com. The link's on my site. His music is fantastic.
By any will, which knows perfection is in agreement with the flow of the current of life. Devoted to the flow, belonging to the oneness, and we too can see that side. If we can see beyond that river, if we can see beyond that river, if we can see beyond that water in our way, we will see the blue sky. If we can see beyond that river, if we can see beyond that river, if we can see beyond that water in our way, then we will see the blue skies of a brighter day.